And Nona Peltier has joined me in the studio to talk about business. Nona, so manufacturing sector, second month where it's contracted. So what's the significance of that? Oh, get that word out.
The significance.
Yes, that's the one.
That's one. Okay, well, a reading of 50 is the sort of the neutral. So if you've got anything above 50 is expansion, anything below 50 is contraction. So it means that it's shrinking.
Yep.
Right? So we were at 48.4. Now, that's the second month we've been below 50. And part of the reason for that is a number of... now, this I should actually make very clear that this is not a survey of sentiment. This is a survey of actions, of things that have happened, and they happened in August. So new orders were down in August, and that's a contraction. Inventories were up, production was down, employment was down. These are indicators which show that that part of the economy is contracting, and that's going to have an impact on overall economic growth. So that's quite concerning. It's the production declined, and that was likely to lead to further declines in the months ahead. And so the drop in new orders was at the lowest point in more than a decade.
Wow. And so for 2 months in a row, will this be starting to make people get a bit nervy?
Well, I think that there's we've been talking about this for a while, and certainly this is part of the whole reason why the Reserve Bank moved to cut interest rates. They're saying spend, buy things. Well, of course, new orders are down. That means what? People aren't buying things. Manufacturing isn't the largest part of our economy, but it does account for things like meat and dairy. Those things are also part of that. There's other parts of our economy that's still doing quite well, but that business sentiment that we've heard about is also flowing through into real actions. So new orders down, production down, inventories up. That's not a good look.
Also, house prices. So this is interesting. Sales down.
Yes. Now, that's really interesting because, well, it's not so much a surprise because inventory was down the month before, so you would expect sales to be...
So not as many people sticking their houses on the market.
Yes, and that's really quite interesting. One of the things that the Real Estate Institute said was that it seems that people with houses are reluctant to sell before they buy, which is interesting because normally you would have thought you'd sell your house and then you'd go buy something. But no, in this market, because it's so tight, people are not that willing to do that. And it's interesting that in some parts of the country, it's still pretty strong. In Auckland, it's a different story. Sales in Auckland are down, as are prices. So overall, the average median house price rose 5.5% in August to $580,000, but fell 3.5% in Auckland. So there you go. So prices are down, sales are down too.
Interesting. And what else has been happening on the markets today?
Well, lots of other things, the world has been going on. But look, I think that the worry about trade has come off a bit because, both the Chinese and the United States are making soothing noises about their trade deal and gestures of goodwill and so forth. So it's all kind of making everyone feel quite comfortable. And, so our market fell a little bit, 0.4%, down 42 points to 10,863. Our dollar is steady, 64 cents, 93 that's against the US, 93.2 Australian, and 51.9 British pounds.
Thanks, Nona. Have a fantastic weekend.
And you.
That's Nona Peltier with our business news.